the 40 now, 2nd and 7. It's Gaylor again. He finds room up the middle, almost breaks away, gets 12 yards, and another first down. Moving into Notre Dame territory at their 48. Rogers once again. This time left tackle, then going to the outside, brought down after a gain of 2. It's Gaylor coming back, almost the same play in the same hole, and he has 2 more yards. Nebraska now at the Notre Dame 44, and watches All-American Rogers once again gets the call, and he's off right guard. He has 10 yards. He's to the Irish 34. From there, Nebraska quarterback Dave Humm shows his running ability, picking up 8. At the 26 now, Gaylor coming back. The favorite Nebraska leads 7-0 with 3:41 gone in the first quarter. Sanger kicking off to Notre Dame. On the receiving end, Gary Diminick. He takes it at the 13. It's a short kick. He's back to the 27, so the Irish in possession for the first time. The handoff to Andy Huff, the senior. He's off left guard for 2. Defensive tackle John Dutton makes to stop. From the 29 of Notre Dame, this is Diminick. He tries right in on the pitch. Now watch the Notre Dame quarterback. Faced with a 3rd and 6, he's going to the air. The man in motion is Darryl Dewan. And Clements hits him. It's a pickup of 12 for the Irish and their first down of the ball game. Moving from the 43. Dewan running this time, and he's losing a yard as Nebraska's Branch and Mason hit him. From the Notre Dame 42, in motion is Dewan. And Clements back to pass. It's the same play, and it's good. This time for 29 yards to the Cornhusker 29. So the Irish is on the move as they trail 7-0 in the first period. This time it's Huff, left guard for just a yard as the Nebraska defense digs in. They are at the 28, the Irish. Clements here attempts to hit receiver Willie Townsend. He's open, but the pass is overthrown. Still at the 28 of Nebraska, it's 3rd and 9. Clements once again attempting to pass, and he has a good rush put on him. He's thrown for a 7-yard loss back to his own 35. That sets up a long field goal attempt by Bob Thomas, 52 yards. Clements holding the boot is short. The Cornhuskers hold the Irish. Now Nebraska moving from their 20. First down, the give is to Rogers. He has 3. From the 23, Humm is going to pass. And it's complete over the middle to tight end Jerry List for 11. Into the game now for the first time is fullback Maury Damkroger. And he does a good job picking up 4 to the 38. It's 2nd and 6 for Nebraska. And Humm to pass a little bit short, incomplete to Barb Ravel. At the 38, Humm not throwing this time. Looks like he is going to run. He does. And he picks up only 2. So for the first time in the ball game, Nebraska has to punt. Sanger is the kicker. And his boot is taken by the Irish at the 33. Nebraska leading 7-0. We're in the first quarter. A big play coming up. Clements attempting to pass. His target, Willie Townsend. But it's picked off by Joe Blahawk at the Nebraska 18. So on the turnover, the Fighting Irish take over. First down, Gaylor, left guard for 2. Gaylor comes right back. Does a little better this time. He gets 11 yards and a first down at the 31 of the Cornhuskers. This is Humm coming back to Rogers. He gets 3 as Schlesy makes the tackle. From the Nebraska 34, Dave Gaylor again, off right tackle. Nosebush hits him, a fumble, and Tim Sullivan has the turnover at the Nebraska 24, a big break for the Irish. On the first play, the give is to Dewan, left end, no gain. 2nd and 10 for the Irish. Clements passing to Huff, and it's overthrown. as Huff was open. So it's a 3rd and 10 situation. Clements will be trying for the first down, but what a rush. Nebraska moving once again from their own 20. This is Dan Kroger, left tackle for 6, as the corner nothing late in the first quarter. From the 26 now, Gary Dixon, the little guy with lots of speed and power, right guard for 1 yard. Dixon again over left tackle this time. He has 4. All-American tackle Greg Marks on the stop. Nebraska at the 31. It's 1st and 10. Hum hits List this time. It's good for 6 yards. He is at the 37. Once again, it's the I-back, Dixon. 5 foot 8 inches. He picks up 36 yards, almost going all the way for the Cornhuskers for the game's longest run thus far from scrimmage. So Nebraska in Irish territory at the 27. This is Gaylor for 8 yards. Inside the 20 to the 19. Next, it's Rogers, the right side. He picks up 2 more. Nebraska is at the 17. And watch now the Heisman Trophy winner, Johnny Rogers, thrown for a 3-yard loss here, something unusual for him. The tackle by Hayduck. That sets up a 2nd and 13 from the Notre Dame 20. Hum goes here to Ravel. And it's almost a touchdown, good for 19 yards down to the 1-yard line. As the first quarter comes to an end, Nebraska in front of Notre Dame 7. From the 1, that's Hum trying the middle. The Irish defense doesn't give in, no gain. A second time on the try for the touchdown, the give is to Dixon. And over the top he goes, and it's a touchdown. So Nebraska in front, 13-0. Hum holds, Sanger's boot good. It's a 14-0 ball game. The defending national champions, Nebraska on top. Sanger kicking off once again. His boot is long, just over the goal line, about the 1 yard deep. Gary Diminick returns to the 13 as Starkbaum makes the stop for the Irish. From the 13, Art Best, left end, he gets only a yard. The Irish come right back with Best. This time the left tackle. He puts on a couple of good moves and drags a tackler for 7. That sets up a 3rd and 2 situation. It's the fullback, Huff, right tackle for 1, and he's a yard short of a first down. So on 4th and 1, it's Doherty back to punt. His kick is out of bounds at the Nebraska 48. It's good field position for the Cornhuskers. The punt traveling only 30 yards. The 48, razzle-dazzled by Coach Bob Devaney's boys. Hum laterals to Rogers. He's going to pass. Frosty Anderson is all alone downfield. It's a 52-yard touchdown for Nebraska. The point-after attempt is blocked by Hayduck, but the Cornhuskers are pulling away as they increase their lead over the Irish, 20-0. Sanger kicking off to the Irish 5. It's taken by Diminick. On the run back, a good one to the 26. The kicker, Sanger, making the tackle. Moving from the 26, the Irish trailing. It's Clements now playing catch-up. He's passing on first down, and it's good to Diminick, but the gain is only for 5. Moving from the 31, Dewan. This time trying left tackle, and he gets 4. Huff will try the same hole, and he'll get 1 less, picking up 3 yards to the 38. This time it'll be Best, the freshman halfback from Columbus, Ohio. And he has 5. Now at the Notre Dame 43. And Clements will go to the air again on first down. Throwing on the run, the pass is dropped incomplete. Still at the 43 of the Irish. That's Huff, left tackle, no gain. This time, another handoff to Huff. And this time, he gets 3, but he is short of the first down. So once again, a kicking situation for the trailing Irish. Doherty puts a good foot into the ball. Rogers takes it at the 9. and he loses 3 as he tries to break loose on the return. He is back to the 6-yard line. It's first down, Nebraska. From the 6, fullback Bill Oles leads off the series, getting 4 yards. They're at the 10. This is Gaylor, right tackle for 3. Moving from the 13, their own 13, on 3rd and 3. Hum, the quarterback, keeps. He loses 3, and the attempt for the first down. So it's Sanger punting from in his end zone. Just gets it away. It's at the Nebraska 45. Rudnick returns to the Cornhusker 30. And the Irish have excellent field position. Moving from there, Andy Huff, right tackle for 3. As the Irish try to move for their first score, trailing 20-0 here in the second quarter. From the 27, Huff again. He picks up 3. Glover helping on the tackle for Nebraska. At the 24, it's that freshman Best again. The play is a reverse. It backfires as lineman of the year, Rich Glover throws the Irish for a 3-yard loss. At the 27, going for 6 instead of 3, Clements passes. Incomplete. The ball intended for Mike Creaney. It was overthrown. So Nebraska now at their own 27. They're in control. Hum passing on first down. Incomplete to Rogers. Going for the bomb and going for broke. From the 27, this is Dixon carrying to his right. He has 5 yards. Now at the 32, another pass attempt. And again, it's incomplete. A little screen right into the hands of the receiver and dropped. That forcing the Nebraska Cornhuskers into a kicking situation. Sanger hits it. Notre Dame's Ken Schleesies calls for a fair catch at the 22. He fumbles, but alert teammate Tim Rudnick recovers the ball at the 22. On the first play, Clements on a screen. Good to Creaney. He has 11 yards and a first down for Notre Dame. Out to the 33. Dewan in motion. The pitch is to Best, and he will pick up 7, advancing to the 40. Second and 3 for Air Force Asians, boys. It's Best this time on the handoff from Clements, and he's just short of a first down as he manages just 2 yards. So it's 3rd and 1 at the 42. Clements decides to go to the air for the yard. It's intended for Dewan, but linebacker John Pitts picks it off for his first interception on the season, and he's down at Nebraska 41. On the first play, Hum passing to Brent Longwell. The play good for 4 yards. This time, it's Rogers, and he takes the pitch out from Hum, and he runs for 5. Next, it's Gaylor, left guard, no gain. At midfield, it's 4th and 1. And Rogers comes back with some hard running, picking up 5 more. And the first down. At the Notre Dame 45 now. Hum on target. To Damkroger for 6. The quarterback from Nebraska again going to the airways. This time the receiver is List for 8 yards and a first at the 31-yard line of the Fighting Irish. Hum coming right back with the same play, again to the same receiver List. And this is broken up. So the ball at the Notre Dame 31, 2nd and 10. Rogers, the intended receiver here, on the bomb into the end zone, but the pass is overthrown by quarterback Hum. It's 3rd and 10. Hum goes back to the running game. That's Richie Barr for 12, and another first down for Nebraska. They are at the 19 of the Fighting Irish. Hum back to his passing game. He hits a back, Gaylor, but just for 2 yards. So they are at the 17. This one again intended for Rogers. He misses, but pass interference is called on Rogers, and that sets Nebraska back 15 yards to their 31. However, the penalty will not disturb the quarterback Hum. The signal by the official. Nebraska and Hum will come right back on another pass play. Good for 16 yards to Frosty Anderson. A good catch, and he's at the 16. But it's fourth down, and Sanger tries from 33 yards out on a field goal. Is kicked wide to the left, but Nebraska still in front, 20-0. With time running out in the first half at the Notre Dame 20. This is Eric Pennick, a good runner, and you'll see why. Left end for 21 yards for the Irish. He's at the Notre Dame 40. Quarterback Clements. Back to pass. His target, Willie Townsend. The ball overthrown as Clements is throwing on the run. Coming up the final play of the first half, it'll be Pennick up the middle, getting just 3 yards. So the first half comes to an end. Nebraska 20, Notre Dame nothing. With that lead, the Cornhuskers kick off to start the second half in the Orange Bowl Classic in Miami, Florida. The kick by Sanger into the end zone. So it'll be the Irish moving for the first time in the second half, 1st and 10. Best tries the middle on a draw, and the Irish lose one on their first play of the third quarter. From the 19, Huff off left guard. He has only a yard. It's 3rd and 10 for Notre Dame, and Clements will pass. And another good defensive play. He's thrown for a 13-yard loss. So Doherty deep in his end zone, a high pass, but he gets it away. The ball is out of bounds at the Notre Dame 42. Once again, excellent field position for Nebraska. Coming up, the second half series for Nebraska from the 42. Hum right to the air, good to Ravel for 14 yards. From the 28, Dixon, right tackle. He has 5, almost breaking to the outside. Notre Dame 23. Johnny Rogers on the call by Hum. And the All-American senior runs for 17 yards. And the Big Red is down to the 6. A great run and great moves by Johnny Rogers. From the 6, they call on Rogers once again. He gets 2 yards. So Nebraska at the Notre Dame 4. This will be Gary Dixon heading for the goal line, but he stopped, no gain. From the 5, Hum calls on Rogers again, and he delivers with his 3rd score of the game as the front of Notre Dame, 30 touchdown of the ball game. Nebraska attempts the 2-point conversion. This is Hum intended for Gaylor. He's out of bounds, knocked out by Schlesy. The point after, no good. Nebraska 26-0 over the Irish. Once again, Sanger kicking off to the Irish. His boot is down to the 6, returned by Dewan. He is back to the 21. Notre Dame must move now. They are trailing. Clements, the quarterback, on a keeper, picks up 3 yards. The young sophomore from Pennsylvania then attempts to connect with Creaney, his tight end. The pass is overthrown, but a flag goes down. And pass interference on Nebraska. That makes it 1st and 10 for the Irish at the 48. On the very next play, Clements tries to come back to Creaney. But watch as his pass is picked up by safety Thornton in the end zone. Excellent coverage on the receiver by 2 Nebraska defenders. So it's 1st and 10, the Cornhuskers at their own 20. The first give is to Dixon, and he carries for 5, the stop made by O'Malley. Dixon for the second time, and he's good for 12 more, and another Cornhusker first down. From their own 37, Hum looks for Bob Ravel. He's open, but the quarterback's pass is overthrown. It's 2nd and 10 from the 37. But this time, Hum connects to Rogers, and they have 12 more yards. Nebraska is near midfield. From the 49, this is sophomore Jeff Moran. He hits right guard for 2 yards. Coming up, a big pass play by Hum. The receiver will be Bob Ravel, who caught 38 during the regular season. And this reception good for 29 yards. He is down to the Notre Dame 20. On the first play, Maury Damkroger, left tackle for 8 yards. Nebraska at the 12. Johnny Rogers here trying the left end. He's got 7 more yards inside the 10, down to the 5 of the Irish. Again from the 4. They give it to Rogers. He gets a couple of key blocks, a big hole up the middle, and he goes into the end zone standing up for his 2-0. Sanger's kick makes it 33 with 8 minutes still remaining in the third quarter. The kickoff by Nebraska. The boot is down to the Notre Dame 4. DeWan can't find the handle. He fumbles it momentarily, recovers, and returns to the 12. Bell makes the tackle. From the 12, Andy Huff trying the right side. He's met by Glover. After the pickup of 2 at the 14, this is Pennick. He handles a pitch out from Clements, and he picks up 6 yards. It's 3rd and 2 from the 20. DeWan in motion. Clements trying to move the trailing Irish. He passes for Townsend. Well, he's all alone, but he drops it. So it's another kicking. Once again, it's a busy night for the Kaufman Sanger. His 7th kickoff of the Classic is taken by Notre Dame's Pennick at the 10. He's on his feet returning for 13 yards to the 23. Once again, the Irish trying to move on the tough Nebraska defense. Huff gets only 3 yards. From the 26, this time Clements passing. He hits Huff. The play good for 4. Now it's Pennick, the leading rusher on the season for the Irish. And he picks up 7 yards on the pitch out. Notre Dame at their own 37. The call next will be to Huff, and he will pick up just 2 yards. Pitts and Glover tackle him. From the 39, Clements on the keeper. Sees an opening up the middle. He moves through it for 11 yards and a first down. The 3rd for the Irish in the second half. From near the midfield stripe, the call once again to Pennick, and he responds with a carry of 6 yards. At the Nebraska 44 now, DeWan trying the right end. He gets but 2. From the Nebraska 42, Nebraska offside on the play, and the Irish get 5 yards and a first down. From the 37, that's DeWan in motion. He stops, comes back, takes the handoff from Clements, and moves for 5 yards. The Irish at the 32 of the Cornhuskers. However, a fumble right here on the play in the backfield. Pennick saves the drive by falling on it at the 33, a loss of only a yard. So it's 3rd and 6, and coming up a busted play, and another loss of a yard. It's a 4th and 7 situation facing the Irish. And this one will click. Clements, a 17-yard pass to Creaney. To the 17, the deepest penetration by the Irish. From there, DeWan plows for 5 as the third quarter ends with the Irish trailing Nebraska 40-0. Moving into the fourth quarter now, John's appearance for the Irish. He hits off left tackle. He has yard as Bob Devaney's defensive line gets tough. From the 5 now, Clements, the quarterback, decides to score through the air. He finds sophomore Pete Demelay, and they have finally put some points on the huge Orange Bowl scoreboard. The Irish decide to go for 2. It is Clements trying to find Creaney, and the ball falls incomplete. It's a 40-6 ball game. Nebraska on top here early in the fourth quarter. Kicking off for the Irish, Bob Thomas. His boot carries to the 8. Rich Barr on the return nicely back to the 31. From the 31, Jeff Moran, right guard for 5, as Coach Devaney is beginning to clear his bench. The next ball carrier, Steve Runney, the new quarterback for Nebraska. He keeps on the option. He runs for 11. Barr, the ball carrier, he's got 12. Then a personal foul against the Irish. Advances the ball 15 more yards to the Irish 27. From that point, the call is to Moran, left guard. However, he loses 2. Nebraska back to the 29 of the Irish. And Runny, attempting his first pass, intended for junior Glenn Garson. It's intercepted in the end zone by Mike Townsend, the great Irish defensive back who had 10 steals on the season. Notre Dame moving from the 20. Clements still calling the signals for Notre Dame. He hits Dewan for 5 yards on the screen. Clements' next pass is blocked this time by 6'7" defensive tackle John Dutton. The Notre Dame 25. Another pass coming up by the Irish quarterback. It's no good, short of the mark intended for Jim Rolfe. It's 4th and 5, and Doherty once again punting. The boot is away. On the receiving end is Barr. And following his run back, Nebraska is set back 15 yards for a clipping violation. A good run nullified by a clipping penalty. So it's Nebraska, 1st and 10 at their own 20. The quarterback pitch out. Bill Olds. He gets just a yard. The ball at the 21 of Nebraska. This is Jeff Moran. A nice hold he finds for 6 yards. Divine tackles. From the 27, Garson is next. Trying the end on a pitch out. Can gain only 2, and that puts Sanger back into the game to punt once again. On the receiving end for the Irish, freshman Bob Zanuck. He returns for 3 yards to the 29 of the Irish. And they will try to move as they trail 40-6 here in the 4th quarter. Clements begins, fading way back and throwing the short screen to Rowe. It's good for 15 yards to the 44, getting the Irish down near midfield. Another pass coming up by Clements. He has to scramble a little bit. He's chased by Nebraska defenders. He throws the ball out of bounds, incomplete. Still at the 44. This is the big guy, Siskowski. Left tackle, he has 5. Bell on the stop for Nebraska. From the 49, 3rd and 5, they go to Pennick, and he comes up a yard short of the first down, gaining just 4. From the 47 of Nebraska, they go for the first, and Siskowski gets it, and 9 more yards as he's down to the Cornhusker 37. From the 37, 1st and 10. This is Pennick, a good runner for 2. The Irish come right back with Pennick, this time on a pitch out. But he's not so fortunate as he loses a yard back to the 38. This is Dewan attempting only his 2nd pass of the year, and it falls incomplete. So he's without a completion in 2 attempts. 4th and 9. The Notre Dame 36. Their final scoring opportunity of the ball game. Clements passes to Dewan. It's overthrown, and Nebraska takes over at their own 36. The quarterback Runny to sophomore Jeff Hill. This will be a screen pass to Dan Kroger by Runty. Pass is complete. He has some blockers in front of him. Cuts to the outside. The gain is good for 7. This time, Barr will take a pitch out from Runty, and he gains 5. This is Runny on the keeper this time. On the option, he has 4 to the 48. Quarterback back to pass, a little dump pass to Garson. But the play loses 3 yards. So it's 3rd and 9. And coming up, fullback Ralph Powell gets the call on a draw. He has lots of room, and he goes for 9 yards and a first down for Nebraska. At the Notre Dame 42, Garson again the ball carrier. He picks up 2. They come right back with the same runner, Garson. He adds 4 more yards for a total of 6. It's 3rd and 2. A pitch out Nebraska picks up only a yard. Barr, the ball carrier. At the Notre Dame 34, Rich Barr, the 19-year-old sophomore, gets the call a second time, and he has 3 yards. Then it's Barr again. On first down, it's a reverse call. It backfires. A good defensive play by the Fighting Irish. Nebraska loses 6. At the Notre Dame 36, running the quarterback this time to the airways, incomplete to the intended receiver, Hill. Running goes right back to passing. And this one is good to Garson. For 19 yards, Mike Townsend makes the tackle. Time running out in the Orange Bowl's 39th Classic from the Notre Dame 17. Garson cannot move on a pitch out. It's 2nd and 10. And Rundy wants to pass again, but no one's open. So he runs, keeping his feet for a gain of 9, just shy of the first down. They finally stop him. Needing just a yard and trying to put 6 more points on the scoreboard, Don Westbrook gets 1 and the all-important first down. And now the final play of the ball game. Runty trying for the score, attempts a pass, but a good defensive play. He's dumped for a 5-yard loss by Devine of the Irish. So it's all over. A 40-6 Orange Bowl victory for Nebraska, their 3rd straight in the Classic and 4th overall in 6 appearances.